I put a spell on you.
Damn it.
He just knew it was going to happen too.
Yeah.
Anyway,
Yeah.
the year you were spat out from betwixt some sweaty, grotesque loins into this world
Sick.
was the it was the year that this too was unleashed into this world.
Yeah.
A movie that you hated the first and I think only time you saw it.
Yeah.
So I was wondering how it would go this time because, excuse me, this is one of my kind of like guilty pleasures. It's a fave, Halloween fave, if you will, because it's just that type of movies. There's some movies you just watch in certain types. I'm sorry, certain times of the year. This is one of those Halloweeny movies, and it just came out on Blu-ray, so I was like, get that.
Did you pay full price?
I mean, it was whatever it cost. It was $9, $9.99.
I was about to say.
Like hating still?
No,
or what?
it's a Disney movie. I was just assuming it was $30.
You would think it being a Disney movie, they would charge like $6, especially since it's like a beloved cult classic. They're gonna be like, let's charge $70.
Yeah.
Surprisingly, $10.
That's weird.
Yeah.
Strange.
What's going on, Disney? Are you losing? You're cool now?
Because
I approve. Because I need to afford some of your shit.
Lose is more cool.
Anyway, we're gonna talk about Hocus Pocus. This 90s era, and very notably so, 90s era. Kind of like I'm not even gonna call it a cult classic. It's kind of like a all-around favorite for a lot of people, especially around the season of Halloween, most obviously. And apparently a point of contention for you. You got a bone to pick with this flick. So we're gonna talk about that, man. Now, the first time you saw it, what was your impression? I remember you hating. Crossing arms, shaking your head.
If I remember correctly, my exact quote was, "Stinky!"
It was on the Chicago Tribune, says, "Stinky!"
Yeah.
That's right, you worked for the Chicago Tribune as a fetus. I don't even remember what year you watched this, but you were relatively young. And this is targeted at like a younger audience. So it doesn't bode well for the movie when the youngin' is Stinky!
I couldn't even talk it, and I was like, Stinky!
This does have one of your boys in it. However, it carries a particular stank for a person like myself because it was written and produced by Mick. I like to ruin concepts, Garris. Now, I like Mick. He's a cool guy, but he sucks as a director most of the time. There's he's shot out at the occasional cool little thing like The Stand, but boop, most of his filmography is stinky. And Mick, he wrote and produced this movie, and it was directed by the guy that went on to direct High School Musical 1, 2, and 3.
Oh, cool. My favorite trilogy.
Yeah, the ultimate. Forget the Lord of the Rings trilogy. The HSM trilogy.
Yeah.
That's what they called it, right?
Dude, I watched the first one like so many times.
Man.
Involuntarily.
Sure, whatever, man. You heard it here first. He loves Corbin Bleu. Head in the game.
Get your head in the game.
He knows the lyrics and everything.
Dude, I blurted out nonstop in that household. It was terrible.
So he subjected you later to incredible torture. But he is the guy that directed this. It is a Disney movie. And you kind of expressed some surprise at that. You were unaware of that, apparently. But it is a Disney movie. And it stars three... I guess notable entities in the arena of comedy. We got Kathy Najima, who most famously went on to play Peggy Hill or voice Peggy Hill on King of the Hill.
Apparently,
who I just found I'm not gonna say it just found out, but it like clicked in my head this last time I saw it. I'm like, wait a minute, she just looks nothing like herself, like she used to anymore. So that just clicked into my fucking dome for some reason. Sarah Jessica Parker, who Matthew Broderick managed to ruin and take away from the world.
One of the many things that he's ruined in this life.
Yes, he's ruined plenty, including my joy to see films.
Yes.
And another thing was he ruined Sarah Jessica Parker. I mean, everybody knows this. It's a fact. She used to be great. Now she's just Sarah Jessica Parker, that chick that's sometimes in rom-coms, and it's not great anymore. Sad. Anyway, and Bette Midler, the I guess the fucking toolbox of the industry. She's everything, you know. She's a little comedian. She's a little actor. She's a little fucking singer. She gets around, is what I'm getting at. She was in Seinfeld, you know.
She was?
Yeah, she was playing herself in it, like a diva version of herself.
Bet.
Yeah, very capable cast playing these the titular Sanderson sisters, which after 300 years have been re-unleashed unto the world of, in this case, Salem. You know, that place where all that witchy shit happened. Apropos the subject matter, and that's basically it. After that, it's just a little Halloween romp featuring some kiddies, including a very young Thora Birch, by the way. Thora Birch, very promising young actress, went on to do such great things as Ghost World. But then her father's was like apparently a total creep.
Oh, yeah?
According to like everybody that's worked with her. Eerie guy that's like always hovering around her.
Mm.
You know, like what do they call them? You know, those parents that always hover around their kids.
Hovering parents?
Yeah, let's call it that. Yeah, just one of those apparently weird and creepy guys that you get the, willies from being around. People say that industry talk says that he would especially be on set if it was a closed set. And a closed set, of course, means that there's nudity.
Oh.
And he would always be there.
Dude.
In corners.
This is disturbing, by the way. That reminds me of this one time I was watching Dateline. I think it was Dateline. One of those late night news.
Yeah, one of those the news magazines.
Yeah, and they had like this like feature on porno.
Right.
And they had this chick on who was like a porn star, right?
Right.
And the guy, they had her parents there. And the dude's like, oh yeah, we're in all her scenes. We're just there off to the side. And I was like, oh. And I totally got like the vibe that that dude wanted to bang her. It was disturbing. Yeah, it just reminded me of
Well,
that.
speaking of the vibe, that's what everybody insinuated.
Yeah.
This was a big topic of conversation because Thora Birch had this very promise. She's here, of course, she's like a precocious little fun-loving kid. But as she grew up, her promise as an actor was pretty evident. And, I think my favorite role of hers, again, was in Ghost World. And Ghost World was kind of that thing where both actresses that starred in it kind of had that, particular shine to them that said, these girls are going to be big, I tell you. The other one was Scarlett Johansson.
My girl.
And she went on to become, the highest paid actress in the world.
And my lover.
And Thora Birch. Where the fuck is Thora Birch?
I don't know.
Exactly. The
Dead?
weird, creepy dad thing. Anyway, she's here as a kid.
Yeah.
So just kind of stain that part of your childhood. Everybody else just kind of like people that became, nobody's. There's a strange cameo by Gary Marshall and Penny Marshall as the devil. Well, as somebody that the sisters think that the devil is pretty amusing. So capable crew.
You also failed to mention our boy Doug Jones in this.
I was getting to that. Capable crew, capable cast, and yes, of course, your boy, that guy that apparently loves you.
Dude, he was sucking my
69's you, Doug Jones, in another pseudo-silent role. When he does speak, I think he's dubbed.
I think so.
That doesn't sound like him.
Done.
So that's a thing that continues. Hocus Pocus. What do you think, man? Did anything change? Are you still hating? Where you at?
I think I'm still kind of hating, if I'm gonna be honest with you.
Man, the hate is strong.
I don't hate as much because I was hating back then.
Yeah, you were like fucking starting riots and shit on the streets.
I was like sucking you off. That's how much I hated it.
What?
I don't know. Like the hate went all around to just sucking you off.
Ow.
It was bad, dude. Now I think I just hate one thing.
What's that?
The Bette Midler.
Why? She's the best part.
She's like horribly annoying in my opinion.
I mean, she's supposed to be horribly
I know,
annoying.
but it doesn't. It never goes fully around to like funny again to me. And also, her face is atrocious.
This is what you're hung up on?
Yeah.
The face?
Yeah. And really, it's just her voice and face, I think, that really kind of annoy me. So,
well, I guess that's a love it or leave it type of thing. I mean, she is supposed to be shrill and bossy. I mean, if I had to like compare what their characters are kind of like the I guess, witch female equivalents of. It would be like if the Stooges kind of switched over into a female role, and it was more about the humor not being physical, but being, in terms of lines and dialogue and delivery. But the dynamic is the same, We got the bossy leader type and two increasingly dimmer dimwits.
Yeah.
But really they're all dumb, So that's kind of the dynamic. But yeah, I mean, okay, well, let me phrase it this way. If you had to point out positives, what would they be?
I think the kids are pretty good. Which is good because, you spend most of the time with them.
Mm-hmm.
They're likable little kids. The little girl's really cute.
That's what her dad said.
Oh, is that the one?
Yes.
Oh, well.
Man, Flora Birch's
dad. There you go. Before she was ruined by her dad, I guess.
Creepy.
But yeah, she's really cute. Like a cute little kid you want to hang out with.
Mm-hmm.
You get a little cat that's cool. It does have that kind of Halloween-y vibe, which is cool. I really just don't like Bette Midler. I'm going to be honest with you. Because I like the other two. Especially, dude, I got to say, SJP looking hot as hell.
I'm telling you, man.
Dude,
fucking Matthew Broderick ruined her.
I would totally hit her up in this role. Little titties hanging out and shit.
Sarah Barker at one point was... I want to say she was destined to be. She was like the go-to quirky, funny actress.
Mm.
A favorite of Tim Burton's, which, by the way, this film would have been great if Tim Burton directed it.
Yeah.
I'm not saying it's not great to me. I'm just saying if I had to pick between Kenny Ortega and Tim Burton, I'm going to go, hey, Tim.
Especially because it would have increased the chances of Danny DeVito being in it by like 1,000.
Yeah, he would have been like the cat or something. And it's just him with a fursuit.
Yeah. Oh, Mancheetah.
Yeah, Mancheetah would be back, yeah. So, but yeah, man, SJP was, the go-to, man. And here she's shining in all the best ways.
Nah.
She's hot. That's what I'm getting
Hottie.
at. Mm-hmm. Give me a Sarah Sanderson any day.
Sarah Sanderson.
What's her fucking name in the movie, man?
Oh, was it?
Man.
She had the same name?
Yeah.
Sarah. Oh, yeah, it was Sarah, wasn't it?
Anyway, the effects in this, of course, this is a Disney production, so, at the time they spared no expense. They still don't, and that's mainly because they have, like, Nazi gold in their coffers.
Yeah, it's pretty
or
horrifying.
something. So they hold up pretty well, man. And I kind of like the fact that they, either because of the time or necessity, leaned heavily on kind of like a theatricalized physical effect look to everything. So there's a stagey quality to certain things, but it just lends to the weird, like colorful Halloween look of it all. There's a very Halloween-y look to everything. Nothing is dark and mopey, which I think if somebody like Tim Burton would have directed it, would have kind of made it a more drab affair. So I got to give Kenny Ortega, I guess, some props for that.
Yeah, Kenny.
Because he did give it that more staged and theatrical look. Stuff that especially looks good is how the witches, when they're flying on them broomsticks and such, the flow of the robes versus in contrast to like the colorful skies and stuff. It looks really good, man. There's really good looking stuff. The cat that talks in this movie, the effect holds up pretty damn well, man.
The groundbreaking cat talking effects.
Yeah, inflating cat action. All that stuff looks.
The inflating cat was pretty rad.
All that stuff looks really good. Doug Jones's, zombie getup, pretty cool looking. Again, a very stylized look, very Burton-esque. If you really want to get down to it. The score, very Elfman-esque.
Yeah, it's pretty much like a rip-off Danny Elfman.
Now, I've never done a lot of research on this movie. It's just one of those that I like to enjoy on its own merits.
Yeah.
But something tells me that maybe Tim Burton was... Maybe they courted him for this and maybe he didn't do it.
Yeah.
I don't know. Or maybe it's just that the movie gives out that feeling on purpose. Who knows? But it works on that level on its own. Give me something, man. Good or bad, doesn't matter to me. And yes, I know you hate Bette Midler.
I hate Bette Midler.
And her teeth.
I hate her face. I hate her teeth. hate that part where she starts singing.
Really?
Yeah. It kind of reeked of like the ninja rap scene
Oh.
in Turtles. Only in this it made more sense at least. But I think I don't know, it's something about her just annoys me throughout the movie. And I do think that it got worse as it went along and didn't get better. Like at first I was okay with it. But the more she's in it, I'm like, dude, bring it down a little bit on the freaking volume. And I get that that's what she's supposed to be. I just don't like her. I like the other two though. Yeah, so that's a thing.
Well, give me something else besides that. We get that you don't like Bette Midler.
I kind of like the weird bullies. They suck, but they're like likable sucky.
Ice and Jay, the guy that plays Jay should have just been James Franco.
Yeah.
Because when I first saw this movie, or I should say re-watched this movie, post me being familiar with James Franco, the first thing I thought was, is that James Franco? And then, of course, credits told me the sad truth that it was not. But it might as well be. That's what I'm getting at. Laughs like him.
Oh, yeah, face.
Got that weird kind of acting that's like on the border of not being acting at all.
Yeah.
Face. Yeah. And, it got that raspy quality to his voice. It's just James Franco, man. It's a step away from frankness. Now, you suggested that Ice should be played by Seth Rogen. And I'm all for that. Go ahead and get Lucasfilm to go back and rape this movie, because really they wouldn't be raping it if they switch these guys out and just put James Franco and Seth Rogen in. Yeah. Best time to...
Oldest kids ever, which brings me to another point. Early on, there's a scene where kids are coming out of a school, and there's like 70-year-olds in that crowd.
There's a dude with a heavily receding hairline.
Yeah, it's like,
I'm talking like, damn, dude. Like, really?
Like, you got more hair.
Yeah, I got more hair than you? It's a fucking issue. If you want to know where, again, it's early on. Kids are being released from the school, and there's a guy in a football jersey.
I thought he was supposed to be like a teacher or something, but no, he was a kid.
That dude be having them scraggly hairs and a receding hairline and make a...
Looking like freaking Al Bundy.
Yeah, for real, man. But anyway, receding hairs aside... There's some pretty cool physical effects in this. Besides, the more stagey stuff, we get a handful of physical effects. And again, like, that old school effects vibe is still there, which I have a feeling it's not going to be there anymore when they, remake this fucking thing. I'm not opposed to remakes like most people are. But Disney's going to not just remake this, which nobody wants. Nobody wants a remake. People have been asking for a sequel for years. So you'd think they'd be like, hey.
Wasn't it going to be a sequel?
You'd think so.
I thought it was supposed to be a sequel.
Oh no, baby. You know what it's going to be? It's going to be a remake, and it's going to be on either Disney Plus or, like Disney Channel or some shit. Who's asking for that? Nobody. You literally have droves of people going, hey, remember that movie we loved as kids? Make a sequel to it. It's not like the actresses are doing anything, especially not Sarah Jessica Parker, who's being ruined further by Matthew Broderick. Damn you, Matthew.
I thought they were bringing them back and everything.
Nope.
Well, that's good for Bette Midler. At least I don't have to see her face again.
Betts. Here's where I go on the Bet defense, on defensive. I think Bette's the best thing in this, but I'm not opposed to Bette. I like Bette. I think she's an amusing actress. When she does funny stuff, she's pretty funny. And she's like my favorite witch. She's not the one I'd bone, obviously.
You clearly want them little teeth on your ding.
But she's like the Mo in this. If these were the Stooges, she'd be the Mo. She's a leader. She's got the best lines. She's got the funniest lines. And, teeth are fucked. I mean, I'm just going to go ahead and give you that one. The teeth, the tooth game is not on fleek.
It's not good.
It's bad. If I saw them teeth, I would uppercut them into her maw, and I'd be happy.
Yeah.
But so I'll grant you the teeth. That's as far as I'll go, though. Kathy Najimy in this, I guess she would be the curly.
Yeah, she's definitely the curly. She's even doing like a curly mouth.
Yeah,
for like 90% of the movie.
Yeah, and then there's little touches to her performance that when I first saw this movie, I actually didn't like her. But as time has passed, of course, I like all of them. But there's little touches to her performance. If you see her, it's just I guess got more of a physical performance. As far as this movie goes, there's a point where your girl Bet slaps her in the face and her crooked mouth goes the other way, and then she slaps her back and it goes the other way. Little things like that. It's just kind of a fun thing to see. So, and then of course, Sarah Jessica Parker could literally just stand there, and I would be standing in the pants.
Yeah, dude.
So that's a good thing.
As a hardcore Sex and the Cityite back in the day,
apparently,
I was kind of shocked at how hot she was in this.
Now, Sarah Jessica Parker. See, I really hate Matthew Broderick.
Yeah.
In general.
Yes.
But he took SJP, right?
Yeah.
And the reason I hate him so much is amplified by that. But of course, if you recall my long-winded combos on My Perfect Woman, she fits all the fucking standards.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Especially the witchy nose, which is just natural to her.
Yeah, she does have a nose.
Horse face, the whole 9 yards she's got.
But here it works.
Oh yeah, I love it. I mean, I've never not liked it.
Yeah.
Matthew
ruining it and everything.
Anyway, Matthew ruins everything. Broderick, that is.
It's the worst thing he's done, and he's actually killed people.
Yeah, he's ruined Sarah Jessica Parker. Forget the dead guy.
Yeah.
Anyway, give me something, man, good or bad, about the old Hocus Pocus, as they call it.
It's
nowhere.
It's short.
God
It
damn.
doesn't feel long. So there's that. That's always good.
The kid's mom looks like an old, ragged Alexis Texas. Just pointing that out.
The keyword being old and ragged.
Very old and ragged.
I probably hit it though, I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah, of course. 2x4, no problem.
Clearly we would hit it, dude.
I
like the Satan guy. He was pretty funny.
Gary Marshall, yeah. There's a the odd cameo. I don't get it. I guess why. I guess Gary Marshall and Penny Marshall. Okay, legends in the comedy movie field. But he's just a guy that's Satan for a while,
yeah,
and it's pretty funny. It's very amusing. His costume is hilarious.
Garbage, yeah.
I don't know. There's a part of this movie that's like a fish out of water type of movie. For a good chunk of it, as the sisters kind of acclimate to the modern world. That's particularly amusing. And coincidentally, Tim Burton, when he later made Dark Shadows, a large part of his movie is a fish out of water type of movie. So again, this all makes me believe that at some point Tim had to have come across this thing and been like offered.
Then he saw that Mick Garris was writing and was like, oh, never mind.
Yeah, I'm going to go ahead and leave. The master that brought us Sleepwalkers did this. I'm gone. But, props to Mick, man. Unless they change the script and he's like totally not responsible for this.
Yeah, there was 2 writers.
But he did produce it. So chances are it is his script. So I gotta give props where props is due. A guy that I usually hate, Mick. Well, I don't hate him. I just hate what he's done to
film.
A lot of movies, and he stinks most of the time. And he's ruined so many Stephen King stories. But anyway, whatever. I gotta give props. Props is due. I do like this movie. I do enjoy it. It's a hoot. It's a holler. Let's go ahead and give final thoughts and a score on a scale of 1 to 10. Again, relative to this type of movie. It's a kid's movie. It's a Disney movie. It's a little rough. I'm gonna point out one thing before we go on to that.
Okay.
This movie uses a lot of Deus Ex Machina, like stuff just
is
there all of a sudden.
Yeah.
Like literally explaining like a scene before, and now you can use it type of stuff. But that's to be expected of a kid's movie. And actually, it's not something that bothers me at all.
You could go full nostalgia critic and just dissect this and make it shit.
Yeah, but
it's not pretty pointless. Yeah.
This is the type of movie where that stuff is forgivable. It's a fun kids family movie, It's supposed to be entertaining. It's not supposed to be fucking flawless.
It's not supposed to be Pink Floyd's The Wall. Oh wait,
man, nostalgia critic.
It's the worst, dude.
Shit. Look, man, you gotta at least give some love to Bet, because compared to Nostalgia Critic, She's fucking God.
Oh yeah. Well, I don't hate Bat. I just don't like her in this role.
You gotta give it a little. You gotta give it a little gas, dude. Bat.
just
Team Bat. Right
just
here.
because of NG.
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
So anyway, final thoughts on this flick and a score relative to its peers. Hit me with it.
It is a movie that I saw. I don't hate it. It's just like I said, I don't dig Bat's performance, but I like the kids, and don't clip that. I like the kids, and
That's what Thor versus Dad said.
Yeah, and I like the other witches, and I like the tone of it, so that's cool. It needed more Danny DeVito, and there you go. But my boy got a job. And I thought, the soundtrack was pretty good.
Mm-hmm.
It was very rip-off Danny Elfman, but it worked. And yeah, it did have some pretty cool effects. Or neat effects. So yeah, it's a movie. I'll give it like a 6.
Damn, hitting that low ball.
I took 4 points off for Bet.
God damn.
Because she got the jacked up teeth.
I'm quite fond of this movie. Does nostalgia play a role in that? Possibly. But, I'm going to go ahead and say that I've viddied many a film that I felt nostalgic for. And if they don't please me anymore, I'm like, man, fuck this movie.
Yeah.
And I still have fun with this movie. It's a lighthearted affair. I think what's most impressive to me is how it really taps into that idealized feeling of Halloween. It's the type of Halloween
that never exists.
That never truly actually existed in the real world.
Yeah.
But boy, do you want it to. It would just be fun to see everything just the way it's shown. Oh, I want that neighborhood. I want to live in that house in New England with the fucking autumn being perfect looking.
Little adventures.
A little adventure with my friends, It's that idealized Halloween feeling that really kicks this up a notch for me. I do love Bet, so there's that. And I just like the dynamic of the sisters as a whole. I like the backstory. I like how they introed the whole affair, and where they could have gone, Tim Burton dark, they didn't. And as much as fun as it would be to see what Tim Burton could have done with something like this, I think it's better that he didn't. I prefer this right here. It doesn't have to always be the Burton action. Although he would have probably brought Danny DeVito, which that alone maybe. And again, Dumbo. So
it feels
never mind.
It feels like Beetlejuice era Tim Burton. Cool.
That would be pretty good. And that's around the time he was fond of SJP, the 90s. I mean,
we got more titties.
So SJP could have probably still been in it.
Yeah.
Pre Matthew Broderick.
Yeah.
Anyway, I'm gonna give this little flick a 7.5. I quite enjoy it.
Hold on, you made like a big stink, and then you just give it 1.5 more than me.
That 1.5 is quite relevant. You know what I'm saying? You rated this under 3 from Hell, which I think it's above 3 from Hell.
I didn't.
Yeah, 3 from Hell you gave a 6.5 to.
Oh, well, that makes sense.
Yeah.
It had the Wicker Monkey, dude.
A Wicker Monkey is a good point, but but anyway, tell us what you think about this classic of the Halloween scene, and how does it hold up for you years later? Do you still enjoy it? Do you not? If you've never seen this before, what'd you think of it? Is it just a 90s thing?
Yeah.
I don't know. Maybe not.
Am I a douche for hating it?
Yeah.
Oh wait, no, I don't hate it.
Yeah, you just said it. But anyway, let us know what you think about this. Hit like, share, subscribe, and those notification buttons. Because we're out.
Bad.